Hi, everyone. Welcome to the PokeBeach.com podcast. My name is John. I go by Water Pokemon Master on the website. And I am joined today, as always, by the wonderful, lovely...
Justin Basil of JustinBasil.com. I think these intros are going to get more and more ridiculous until I can't even talk during them. That's what's going to happen.
I think it's an odd format for me to like wait for you to talk too. It's like we need to come up with like a new script for this beginning part. We never really put
That'd be
thought
funny
into it.
though.
We never
No,
really
but hey,
put thought
it
into
works.
it.
No, we just
Yeah.
need to get more and more over the top, and it'll be perfect.
Oh no!
And
And
then
then we're gonna
great.
become like those weird YouTubers that give you diabetes when you watch them. Like they're so over the top and
You see about
sugary and-
Leonhardt?
No. Well, maybe I don't know. I don't really watch anybody, but I've seen. I don't know. I've just seen general things before. I don't watch YouTube really at all, except for like documentaries. But like, I like to be real, and I don't like to act, and I can't act. So I'm just usually myself, and it's hard to be like, "Ah!" I can't do
It just
that.
means we're the real people on the Poke Beach podcast.
We are
That's
real.
all there is to it.
We are very real. I am totally real. I'm not an AI like Professor Sada and Turo. I'm totally real.
Spoilers, sir.
Okay, so what are we doing? Oh yeah, we're supposed to talk about news. Right?
That is the thing we do on this.
Yeah. Okay, we're talking about this week's Pokemon TCG news, and okay, so I'm going to browse to the website. Here it is. And so, what's the first news story we should talk about? I'll
I
leave
think
you
we
in
should
charge
hit
of that.
let's hit the official set lists released for the price specs.
Yes. Okay. So, as many of you know who attend Pokemon League, Pokemon started giving out these prize packs. What was it, like a year ago? And
Something like that. Yeah, roughly.
they are reprints of staple cards from recent sets as well as popular Pokemon. And they're just an easy way to collect those cards. And many of them are holo versions and non-holo versions of cards in those sets, so they are unique. And actually there's been 3 prize pack series packs, and the third one that came out a few months ago had Galaxy holofoil cards, they're very beautiful, as you can see in the news story. Like
Yeah,
here's Rare Candy.
especially on the newer cards that have the silver bordering, so that you can
Yes.
see the hollow on the border. The Cosmos just really pops.
They're absolutely beautiful. So anyway, the news this week is that TPCI released the official checklists for all 3 sets. Before, it was up to fans to put together the set list. So, we weren't always completely sure of all the cards in the set because it's really hard to compile them. But here's the official set list. So
Yeah.
that's the news. And the Prize Pack Series 4 is going to release in February 2024. I kind of doubt that TPCI is going to release that set list right away, so we're probably going to have to rely on Twitter and fans to put together the set list, but I'll be sure to cover it when it comes out.
Yeah, and hopefully we get the Cosmos holofoil for that one too. I think they realized that people really like this holofoil pattern. Now, if they could just use it for the regular sets, that would be great.
Well, I have been saying that for years. I've been like on Twitter all the time and on the website saying, bring back Galaxy holofoil or Cosmos holofoil. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. And I guess 151 was their opportunity to finally do it. And then because they bought so much, it looks like they used it for Price Pack Series 3 because why not? It looks like they're buying it now. But what was the other point you made that I wanted to touch on? Shoot, what did you say? You said that...
I don't know. It's been more than a minute.
It's been more than a minute. You said... I forgot what you said. Anyway, I'll think of it later, I'm sure. But, okay, let's move on to the next story. Yeah?
Yes. It's the Scoop Up Net.
Okay, so...
Scoop Up Net got whacked.
Scoop Up Net has been banned in Japan. It's from Rebel Clash. They banned it in their version of the expanded format. The ban goes into effect actually today. An international ban hasn't been announced yet, but is expected, although... it doesn't really look like TPCI is supporting the expanded format much anymore, so who knows if this will actually come here. What do you think? You're the competitive expert. You talk for this one.
Expert might be a strong word. No, I think it'll come here eventually. It is interesting though that Japan has decided to drop this ban today. like to have it happen today, and they announced only a few days ago. Because Pokemon International, TPCI's ban list for Paradox Rift went out last Thursday. And there were no changes to either standard or expanded, which you would have anticipated that maybe creatures would have communicated, hey, we're going to ban Scoop Up Net in our expanded format. Maybe you should follow suit. But I genuinely think that TPCI at this point just cares so little about the expanded format that they're not even bothering.
Well, like you told me when we were first talking about this story, you can't even sanction premier events under expanded. So to me, it seems like they've just dropped it.
You can't sanction premier events with expanded.
Premier events, yeah.
So you can't do cups and challenges. Before COVID, you could. So a lot of times, our local regionals here in Texas was Dallas, San Antonio this year, conveniently, but it used to be Dallas, and Dallas was always an expanded regional. And so what would happen is the month or two leading up to Dallas regionals, all of our challenges would flip to expanded, so that people could get a chance to test in a competitive environment. Well, that was really cool because, you break out of standard for a while and enjoy some of the older cards, but that's not really a thing we can do anymore. One, because there are no regionals expanded. There's no real reason to play the format at all. Yeah. You can't even play it in cups and challenges. And then TPCI has horrifically neglected the format on top of it. They don't really seem to care very much about it.
What do you think that is, though? To me, it just seems like the pool is just so large and it's really hard to keep on top of. And I don't know, it's probably more valuable to them to focus on standard because the sets rotate out, And
so standard obviously is making them more money currently.
Yeah.
I think the problem is they don't really understand how to monetize expanded, but they absolutely can. They had a survey go back They had a survey go out a few years ago in which they talked about some different product ideas they had. And one of them was effectively a trainer's toolkit for the expanded format.
Right, I remember. Yeah.
Something like that would be amazing. It really would. But they have to actually support the format. The problem they have right now with expanded, and this is true of any format that's not standard format, basically, even GLC has this issue, is that all of these cards that people are hunting for these decks, because they are so old, because the packs that they come from are so out of print, TPCI doesn't make any money off the sale for that pack. Or off the sales for those cards. It's all going to third parties who have held onto these cards for years and kept them in reasonable enough condition that people want to buy them. So if you're hunting for, these Versus Seekers from Phantom Forces or these Battle Compressors, right? Those are cards that Pokemon themselves aren't selling to you.
Yeah.
You're not getting them from packs. You're not getting them from prize packs. There's no money that's going to their pockets. And because of that, they're not as interested in supporting the format. But they absolutely could make money off of the format still, and I genuinely think that the whole trainer's toolkit for expanded thing would work. And then we have A-Specs coming back in Scarlet and Violet 5, and that's like the prime time for them to go, oh, hey, you know what? Let's reprint some A-Specs for expanded.
Yeah. Well, it also makes it playing an expanded makes it more inaccessible to new players too, because you have to go and hunt for those old cards. So if they were to release, they must have done some internal, survey or crunch their numbers or whatever and determined that expanded just isn't worth it to them, because it's already like competitive products are already sort of niche in a way when you look at Pokemon as a whole. So then expanded is even more a niche thing within that. So they must have determined that it's just not worth it to them. But I mean, I thought it was a great idea when they first announced it, to play in two different formats. But me as like a casual player, like if I were to just want to go to a tournament and, register and whatever, I think I would be a little bit uncomfortable with the fact that I have to go look for all these cards and I have to go back so many sets and research. And I think standard just makes it easier. I think makes the game more accessible.
Standard is a lot easier for newer players, and it's actually really interesting too, because the thing that inevitably happens every time with newer players is to go, well, expanded is the better format because I can use all my old cards. I don't have to go hunting all the new ones.
Yeah,
but it's not really true. You do have to still go hunting for all the new ones. Of course,
yeah.
I mean, like the biggest shift that has happened in the expanded format in years happened during the team up era, with all the tag teams coming out, and they just crushed the crap out of that format, just like they did to standard. But to an even greater degree, right? Even now, the tag teams are still pretty prevalent. The VMAXs are still pretty prevalent. Are they as dominant as they once were? No, but they're still pretty prominent.
Yeah. I'm so glad we have you here to bring this kind of insight, because I don't always understand the competitive scene.
One more thing. So I'm sorry to
Sure.
interrupt again, but okay. I don't buy the whole, oh, well, we can't manage the ban list thing either. One, Creatures has at least done something, right? They banned Scoop Up Net. I don't think that's enough. I genuinely think that there's about 4 or 5 other cards they should be hitting. But they don't need to do that much to fix Expanded. It's really not that bad in terms of number of cards anybody hit.
I don't think, I think if they could, if they could, they would. It's just that it's, like we said, it's just not monetarily worth it to them, and it makes it inaccessible to newer players who there's so many coming in now. So I feel like if they wanted to, they could, but that's the root of the issue, is that it's it's just not viable. It's not viable for new players, and
I mean, I think if they're gonna fail to support the format at all, they just need to say, you know what, it doesn't exist anymore, because it's a little frustrating.
Yeah, that's true too. They could do that. I don't know why they don't, but it seems kind of half-assed where they are right now. But
a bit, yeah.
Okay, our next news story is very minor. I'm not even going to open it. It's an Iron Valiant EX code card will be distributed during the LAIC live stream on November 17th. And
there's also going to be a distribution for the Pokemon.
Yes.
I can't remember which one at the moment. Do you remember?
No.
It's a competitive Pokemon, so definitely keep an eye out for the code. Yes, I don't remember what it is. I'm going to probably have to grab it. I remember it being something I was going to grab, so I don't remember which Pokemon it is. I'm not super focused on VGC, but grab it when it comes out.
You know, in the old days of the web, I used to cover the entire franchise, and then I kind of specialized more into the TCG in the past decade, because I think it needed the most help. It needed the most support. Video games get so much coverage everywhere, and TCG just always felt very neglected. So that's why I decided to put all my time into just covering the card game. So that's why I don't really cover video games too much, unless it's very general things like, new games or new Pokemon, because that will apply to the TCG players eventually. Okay. Our next news story is that all of the secret rares from Ancient Roar and Future Flash were revealed. And as we noted last week, this is, I don't want to say it's the first time. It might be the first time. But this is one of the few, if not the first time, that the English set revealed the secret rares before Japan, the majority of them. So we already saw all of the secret rares that would be in Japan's Ancient Roar and Future Flash last week. So when you're scrolling through this, you're like, I've seen all these before, because, you just pulled them in your booster packs at pre-releases this last weekend.
Yeah.
But there were 2 cards that we didn't get in our Paradox Rift set, and that's the gold Darkness Energy and the gold Metal Energy. They cut those from TPCI, cut those from Paradox Rift. Not sure why, but presumably we will get those in our our special English 4.5 set in January. And
I think that's the most reasonable spot for him.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of the 4.5 set, let's jump. Oh, that is actually the next news story. It
sure is.
I posted about more products that are coming to our special 4.5 set, releasing in January, and this includes 3 premium collections. Each one will contain 8 booster packs, a Pokemon EX promo card, a jumbo version of that EX card, 2 other promo cards, a 3-card one-touch protector, and a Pokemon TCG live code card. And I suspect that this is speculation, of course. I don't know, but I kind of suspect it's going to be 3 premium collections featuring the starter Pokemon EX lines, because it's got 2 other promo cards in it, which seem like they would be pre-evolutions. So we might see those in those premium collections. And these premium collections are going to come with something called a 3-card one-touch protector. And this is already an existing Ultra Pro product So I suspect that's what they're going to include in those. And you can see here, it's basically a card frame that you put your cards in and screw it together like an acrylic frame. They have released, they did release this before at like Target back in 2003, when Pokemon was doing the Kids WB Creator Contest. I remember this because I have them somewhere. So this wouldn't be the first time Pokemon has released these. So we'll probably see a Pokemon branded version of these in those premium collections. And then we also revealed that there's going to be 3 tins releasing for this set, which will contain an EX card, 5 booster packs, and a code card. If you're in Europe, you'll see 1 less booster pack, so 4 booster packs, and a different tin shape. And these products are going to release on February 9th. The products we previously revealed for this English set were an Elite Trainer box and tech sticker collections, which are going to release on January 26th. So again, we're going to see this set having staggered product releases. And as usual, this is all preliminary information and subject to change. And it has changed many times in the past, which is why I've sometimes been shot by people online. But we're just going by what the distributors say, and they change things, sometimes, and that's just how it is. So subject to change, but we are only 2 months away from this, so it's probably going to stay this way. But
I mean, you were expecting a potential reveal yesterday, so I expect.
No, that was my paranoid. No, it's probably going to be next Friday.
Next Friday. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's inevitable at this point that we're going to get it here shortly.
We're expecting the announcement for our English 4.5 set to come next Friday, right before we record this podcast. So we should get coverage of it up pretty quick. We don't know the name of the set yet. We just know it's coming. It's going to be based on Japan's Shiny Treasure EX, which, as we talked about last week and have been posting about for a while, is going to feature shiny Pokemon and mostly contain reprinted cards. And I think that's it. Is there anything else we want to talk about for this?
Do we want to talk about the results of that poll right now, or do we want to hold off on that?
Oh yeah, go ahead. So last week, sorry, you go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll pull it up.
So last week we asked, what were we debating? It was
we were debating.
Oh, okay. I was saying that I think I was saying last week that the appeal of these sets is for like general collectors, and it's like the texture of the cards in real life, and people. I think you were saying it's just a lazy.
That's a lazy recolor, and people are tired of it.
Yeah, but I was also saying that Japan doesn't hold on to their they print to ship. So Japan prints their sets out and ships them out right away. They don't hold them in warehouses. So for them, this is sort of like their version of doing a new print run. So for the way I look at it is it's a new print run for cards that people need, but they just kind of spice it up a bit with, shiny Pokemon. But you're saying that from your perspective, which is absolutely fair, it's a lazy recolor.
Well, it is a lazy recolor. That's the thing, is they've shown they can do new art. Even they could do it for shiny Pokemon. They did it, I believe it was V-Star Universe, right? Where they had the arts that eventually became part of our trainer galleries all throughout the Brilliant Stars block. They've done something that wasn't shinies before, and they created new art in their reprint set. They've done it. They can do it. And they could even make those arts shiny Pokemon. It's entirely possible. It's 100% lazy. So the results of the poll, because I did do the poll on Twitter, the results were basically...
do you want to pull it up here?
Go ahead and pull it up. I sent the link to you actually through Discord if you want to pull that up.
Oh, I broke the screen.
No, don't break things.
Oh no. Is it showing up?
No.
We're not set up for this. But basically, okay, you just say the results.
Okay, I'm gonna read it out. Okay, so the question I asked was, and I basically asked.
No. Oh, wait. I can't pull it up. I'm sorry. I was getting confused with the tabs. Hold on. Okay, here it is. Oh, you just froze.
Okay.
Okay, wait. Okay, cool. All right,
this is when we realized that John uses light mode on Twitter. Okay.
Uses what?
So the question, light mode on Twitter.
What?
You're not even signed in. What the heck? Okay, so the question was, how do you feel about the shinies? Are they great as they are, or are they lazy recolors of existing alt art, robbing us of alt art shinies? And then, so we had 19.4% of people said they're great as they are, and 62.6% of respondents said that they were lazy recolors, and then about 17.9% just wanted to see the results.
That tells me that 40% of people are sort of indifferent to like it, and then 60% of people, which are probably much more involved fans, think it's lazy recolors.
To me, it's 20% say that they're great as they are. 20% just wanted to see the results, and a little over 60% said lazy recolors. Because even if you look at the comments from last week's Poke Beach podcast, the majority of the people who responded said yes, they're lazy recolors.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're saying they could do new art, and it kind of feels like at this point, if I put on my more involved fan cap, which I don't always do, it feels like I lost my train of thought.
Derailed.
I'm drinking tea to get the caffeine going. I had a crazy morning. Sorry. What was I saying? I remember. It feels like this is like the third or fourth set where we've gotten these like recolors. And it's getting old to me. Like I want them to do something completely different. So I don't know what that is, but this is just so typical at this point. Like I still have cards from whatever the last set. What was it? Crown Zenith? No, that wasn't Crown Zenith.
The last shiny set?
Yeah, what was the last
Fates.
one? Yeah, I still have all the packs in my closet because I already felt like back then that they were a little old. So to me, if I put on that cap, yeah, this is like, I wish they would do something completely different. To be fair, we haven't seen the full set reveal yet. We don't know if they will do something surprising. You don't think they will, you might be right, but we'll see. We're judging it a little early, but we still have over a month to see what's going to be in the set. But this is definitely a fair point. You know, there's, like I said last week, there's so many different fans involved in this franchise. You have serious collectors that have been here for a long time. You have new people coming in, and people are allowed to have their opinions, and in this case, it looks like people don't like the lazy recolors. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people are
But what would
it.
what would they do different? What would they do differently other than like adjust maybe the poses or something? Because they
create new art.
So
just
they would.
create
So
new
it's
art
just
that has
the
shiny Pokemon in
alternate.
it.
So alternate art. But that to me,
alternate
like,
art that features shiny Pokemon. That's different.
That to me is also I don't if I were to put on that cap I was mentioning, I wouldn't want to see these like full art basic artworks. I would want to see like special illustration rares or something. Like I'm kind of over the full arts, honestly, like in general. And I wish they would come up with something completely different. I don't know what that is. I would have to think
You're talking
about
about the full arts for the Pokemon EX, or like the
full arts in general. I'm tired of them. Like I don't really like them personally. I like the illustration rares and special illustration rares. I wish they would do something a little more advanced with those, maybe.
No, I agree with you. I'm glad they got rid of the rainbow rares with Scarlet and Violet, and I actually think that the full arts just need to go too.
Yeah.
The illustration rares, special illustration rares are leagues better.
Yeah.
And if you had something akin to an illustration rare or a special illustration rare that featured a shiny Pokemon, I think that would be perfect.
Exactly.
For a set like this,
exactly.
Right?
Absolutely. If they did shiny, unique, shiny art of, of those reprinted Pokemon, I think that would be absolutely amazing. But again, like, it kind of feels like they don't need to put in that much effort. I think they're probably thinking they don't need to put in that much effort because it's going to sell anyway. And there is also like the problem of if everything is special, nothing is special. So if they did like an absolute dream set where they're doing like shiny alternate art, then I think it would make the regular sets like less special. I don't know. I don't exactly know what I'm saying. My thoughts aren't together right now, but I feel like if they go all out on everything all the time, it's going to desensitize people, and then they're going to want more and more and more. They're always going to want something new. So I don't know. Maybe this
So
is
they're
their
going
way.
to expect better.
Yeah. Well, but
Oh, how dare they?
Well, no. I don't mean it that. I think that's a little reductive.
That's how I'm
I
getting
think
it.
no, because what I think is that it's maybe a little hard to come up with something. Once you go to that level, like what are they going to do next? Like have hologram cards that are like, I don't know, project the Pokemon out of the card. Like, I don't know. It's like, what would they possibly do next? So maybe with their current technology, the creme de la creme is the special illustration rares. And maybe the next thing could be making them textured somehow. I don't know. But maybe this is all that they can currently do. And that's how they kind of navigate.
I mean, even these shinies are textured, right? That was part of your argument last week. Like,
No.
I don't.
No, what I'm saying is making special illustration rares that are textured. That's what I meant. Like, I'm asking what would be the absolute like dream set for me? I think it would be for this kind of set. I would say it would be brand new artwork, special illustration rares, shiny, and textured. So all four of those. But if they went to like that kind of extreme, then what are they going to possibly do next? They're going to set expectations so high that regular sets and everything else are going to seem really bad in comparison. So I kind of think that it's maybe like they can't go much further, so that's why they still sort of do this. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out.
I don't know if I buy that argument though, because like, they have Crown Zenith as an example, right? They did a whole bunch of special arts with Crown Zenith.
Right.
Like they did the new art for Giratina and for Palkia and Dialga and stuff.
Absolutely.
They still had the art from Lost Origin for those cards too. That didn't necessarily take away from it. Some people prefer the different art, right? Some people prefer the gold, and that's going to be how it is. Well, if you have the shiny art that's a different art than the regular art, then people are going to go, okay, well, I personally prefer the shiny art for this Pokemon card, so I'm going to collect this one, or I'm going to play with this one versus playing with this one.
Well, that's what
the fact that they have variety is important.
Well, that's what I'm saying though, is that I think if they went too far, it would make everything else less special. So people wouldn't. I don't know. Let's move on.
But like my point is, like, just because sets like Crown Zenith and Shining Fates and Hidden Fates exist doesn't mean that the other sets don't sell. Like, they still do sell.
Yeah, but I'm talking more about like expectations. I just think that, I don't know, we're talking in circles. I don't know what I mean. I should think more about this before I give an opinion. But my sort of general thought is just that if they go too far in making everything like absolutely cool, then nothing's going to feel cool. And I don't know. But yeah, as a fan, like, yeah, I want them to do better, obviously. I just don't know how much more better they could do.
Quite a lot.
Well, so what do you mean though? Like, give an example. Like,
okay,
what do you think?
So
because I said special illustration, rare, shiny version, textured.
So even excluding the whole special sets, even just the base cards could be improved drastically. If you look at a newer card game like the Digimon trading card game, the art for those cards is amazing. And effectively, because of how those cards are designed, every single one of those cards is a full art, right? The card art is very front and center on those cards.
Oh,
that is amazing and could be great for the Pokemon trading card game. But they are so focused on having these boxes that they don't do that. And it doesn't help that Pokemon is a very wordy card game.
Well, then let me ask you. So for Digimon, then what do their special cards look like? Because let's say Pokemon made every card, a full art or whatever. Then what are their... What do you do with the special cards?
They have what I would describe in Pokemon lingo as like a gold card, right? If you look at like was it Lilithmon? There's like a very... Let me see if I can find a picture real quick so people can know what the heck I'm talking about.
Lilithmon. I hate Digimon.
I actually really like the card game.
I don't. Oh yeah, well that might be. I don't like the designs. They look so artificial to me. I love that Pokemon
That's
is
the
way more.
point.
I love that Pokemon is like very natural. Like that's what I like about it. Are you sending me a link?
That's the point. I'm fishing one up right now. Okay, so this is the it's a TCG player link. It's going to come through in Discord in just a second.
Sure.
Yeah, and then I'm going to show you. It's send you the regular art. So this is Lilithmon. These are two different arts for this. That is the gold for Lilithmon, right? That is the high rarity version of this card. Now the second link that I sent is the base rarity for it. Now they're different rarities, and some people are going to always want to play with the higher rarity, whether or not they prefer the lower rarity or not. I prefer the regular art more for this one, but some people prefer the gold. It's the same way with the Pokemon trading card game, right? But if you look at these cards, they still have text on them, a decent amount of it, in fact. But they've designed the card in such a way that allows the art to be more of the focus of the card. And for a game that's so high on the collectors, you would expect Pokemon to do a little bit more with that too.
So what they're doing is their base rarity is in Pokemon terms a full art, but with well, not exactly a full art because the artwork is more detailed than that. It's not so basic. It's more like, I would say more like a special illustration rare, because if it were a full art, they would be more simplified.
Full art in the traditional sense that it's actually full on the card,
right,
not boring and generic.
So I would actually say, so their base rarity is a special illustration rare, and then their upgraded rarity is an alternate art. How would you put this in Pokemon terms? An alternate art.
It's a gold card.
Black and white card. I don't know, but basically, this is what I'm saying though, is that this is kind of what I was saying. So this card game has already kind of done the maximum amount. So it's got like special illustration rare and then a gold card. But it's like, where do you go after that? That's what I'm kind of saying.
You can do all sorts of things. That's what I'm saying is like you can be a little bit more unique with it. Like this gold thing is just one version of their super rares or secret rares. It's just they have the special arts too, and they put a little bit more effort into the base rarities.
Right, but I think that maybe the reason that Pokemon sells so much is that you have you have all of it together. So you've got a simplified full art. Then you can have a gold version of that. Then you can used to be able to have a rainbow version of that. Then you can have a special illustration rare version of that. I think that what makes it cool is that they have like all these sorts of different versions that are available at different price points. And I don't know.
Personally, I'm of the opinion they should have two rarities, base rarity and high rarity. I think all these extra rarities are just exhausting.
That
collectors.
I can agree to that, but if they did do that though, like wouldn't let me think about this more. Actually, I would like to revisit this next week. Let me put together my thoughts a little better.
Yeah. The only other thing I'll say, and
we probably will be able to revisit it next week because I think the English set will be revealed. So we'll
True.
I'm going to think about this more.
The only thing I want to kind of say that is tangentially related to this is one thing they can do. They don't even have to do like playable versions of some of these cards. They can literally kind of do what they've done on the Japanese Instagram page, where they just have the card's art, and that's it. Where they could literally print on a card the card's art.
Oh, see, this is where because then why would anyone collect the other cards and then get into the game? If you're just printing the art, then they'll never be enticed into playing the actual game. They'll like look at you just make them. That is a total.
You make them super rare. That's all you do. You just make them super rare.
You're such a fan.
Make them one per box or two per box. That's all you got to do.
Remember,
this is also easy.
This is also. I sound so corporate right now, and I don't mean to be, but this is also where Pokemon has to be like a business. It can't be like.
That's exactly how you do it, though. You take an idea like that and you make money with it.
But if fans were running this, I think they would run it into the ground because. Never mind. Okay, let's revisit this next week. I think these are. I think everything you're saying. I think everything you're saying are very good things to talk about. Like I love all the discussions that we're having right now. And I want to be a little more prepared and think about it more. And I really like the points you're making. So let's revisit this next week. I'm going to think about this more. But these are I really like the points you're bringing up because they're good discussion points. All right. Should we move on?
Sure. Let's move on.
So did you want to say anything else about that or?
No. I mean, we'll save the rest of that for next week.
Okay, cool. All right. So our next news story is that the Pokemon Center is rectifying some orders that were. You got it?
I finally got one.
Oh, he's holding up the Pikachu Van Gogh promo to the camera.
Finally got it. I actually got it right before we're supposed to start recording this podcast this morning.
Nice. Nice. I never got it, so But I'm so sick of this card.
You gave up though.
I gave up. I did give up. I fully acknowledge that. So the news story is that the Pokemon. Let's go through this actually. So the Pokemon Center appears to be shipping out separate shipments of the Pikachu with gray felt hat promo to customers whose order slip included it on the order but didn't receive it. So if you ordered during this promotion and it showed you were going to get this card and you didn't get it, this is for you. They appear to be doing a separate shipment after the fact, shipping out the cards to these people. So earlier this week, a lot of people on social media reported that they were missing the promo in their shipments, even though it included it on their order list. And at first, the Pokemon Center's stance was very shaky and I think a little shady. They said, unfortunately, this is a statement they sent out to some people. Unfortunately, we have determined that the Pikachu with gray felt hat promo card was sold out by the time your order was placed due to overwhelming demand for the card. Note that adding an item to your cart, including promotional items, does not reserve stock, and qualifying purchases also do not guarantee a promotional card. Now, that is, I try to be as fair as I can, understand both sides. That is complete BS. Like, that is so ridiculous.
It's bordering on lawsuit.
Yeah, I honestly think that I'm sure they did have language that would allow them to protect themselves, but from a fan perspective, from product integrity, franchise integrity standpoint, that is a very bad response. You are not backing up your product, and that's horrible. And what makes it even worse is that not most people, but a lot of people you had to spend $30 to get this card on Pokemon TCG products, and people probably wouldn't have bought those products anyway if it weren't for this promotion. And you also can't return TCG products. So this package could potentially show up at your doorstep, be missing the promo, which is the whole reason you were ordering it, and then you can't return them, or you have to go through a hassle of returning them. So it's very shady and it's very inappropriate, and they just have completely botched this entire promotion since the beginning. This whole thing is an absolute disaster. Whoever is in charge of doing this at this point, like, I honestly think the company needs to deal with those employees, because this has really damaged, I think, their look, and it really is infuriating to see. And I think they need to really do an internal review, because again, we don't know everything going on behind the scenes. Who knows what could have happened? We don't know. But from us on the outside seeing this is a horrible, horrible look, and they need to do something to address this internally and to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And as I said on one of the podcasts, Pokemon, the company itself, has been growing so much in the last year that it feels like maybe their new employees don't know maybe the history of the franchise to even know that this promotion was going to be popular and was going to be an issue and should have had a lot more thought put into it. And maybe the older employees are out of touch with how much scalpers are involved in this franchise now. So it just feels like they are a complete disorganized mess. And for the sake of their own integrity and for the sake of people like us who care about the Pokemon Company deeply and this franchise, they need to really do an internal review and fix this, because the fact they even sent out this message to customers tells me that they are not taking it seriously and that they're trying to put band-aids on this and not back up their things. And then all of that said, they do appear to be shipping out the card to some affected customers. So they are trying to make good on it, but still the fact they would even send out this message and that they're doing so many backpedaling and back and forth. It's just, sorry, I've been ranting. What do you think?
No, I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. This has been an absolute botch in the beginning. To me, this response reads like a rogue customer service agent. But the fact that there was probably more than one person that received this message is not good. This message should have never ever left the end of their keyboard. The enter should never have been pressed.
No.
I would not be surprised in the least if the agent that sent this was terminated.
No, they weren't, because this went out to a couple of people. I saw screenshots from a couple of people. They weren't terminated. It's not the agent's fault. This is not the agent's fault. The agent is just doing what the company's telling them. You don't go after individuals. It's the company making the decision. I'm talking about the people that are making these decisions here. Those people need to be reevaluated. Whoever is running these things, because this is horrible. And I'm looking at the response again. It's basically like, we messed up, but we're not. You're not guaranteed to get a card anyway. So it's horrible. It's horrible. But anyway, I hate this promotion. I'm sick of seeing this card.
Clear out all of our back stock on Pokemon Center for us, please. But you might get the card.
And I'm sure the more pragmatic version. Pragmatic, is that the right word? The more realistic version of me does not think that was their intention, to clear out stock and rip off people. I don't think they were sitting there thinking that, but that's definitely what the effect has appeared to be like. It's like you buy out all this stock that, it's the leftover stock because it's things that people don't really want. You're spending $30 on it to get this card, and then you're not getting the card. So it's like, obviously they're trying to sell things, but I don't think their intention was, mustache twirling villain, let's clear out the old stock and rip off people by not even getting the promo. Like, I don't think that was their intention.
John, people had to buy $30 of Fusion Strike. That's lawsuit worthy in and of itself.
That's hilarious. John, it was Fusion Strike. Like, come on.
It was Fusion Strike. 90% of that set is bulk from the family card game.
Yeah, it is.
Like, that set is awful.
You had to go through getting that crap to get the card. But yeah, anyway. All right. And I just want to say, sometimes I play devil's advocate a bit, because I do that in life too. And it's just because I think that it opens up more discussion points. That's not always my personal opinion about things. It's just, I think that makes for a more examining all the different sides. And anyway, but yeah, that was crap. Okay. And then
that was crappy.
That was crap. That was really bad. And they better do an internal review, because that's going to damage their integrity. And for the sake of the company and the brand, we're here because we love the company, we love the brand, and we want them to do better. So, all right, next and final news story is that the what am I saying? The Japanese Pokemon Center has revealed their merchandise for November. It releases November 10th, and it features Pokemon trainers from Paldea. It's called the Pokemon Trainers line. Very unique title. And it includes card sleeves and deck boxes. And you can go to the news story to see all of them in detail. But we see all of our favorite trainers here, including Nimona.
Yeah, if only we got these in English, like in our English Pokemon centers. That'd be great.
It would, honestly, like, yeah.
The penny sleeves. Like, look how awesome those are.
I think it must be a licensing issue. I think we talked about that at one point in one of the episodes.
It's probably because of their deal with Ultra Pro.
It could be that. It could also
gotta
be
something.
I remember, it's like a very anecdotal, but I remember back in like maybe it was 2006 or 7 at the Anaheim Worlds, I was talking to the employees there, TPCI employees, and I remember they told me that they have to license even Ken Sugimori's artwork. Anytime they use it on their products, they have to pay for it. So I think that it must be like a licensing sort of thing where this kind of art, they maybe have to pay the artists more than usual to use. I don't know. I'm completely speculating, but anytime something doesn't make sense, it's usually because of a legal thing, in my experience dealing with Pokemon. So I don't know. In this case, maybe it costs more to pay the artist than it's worth them manufacturing this and selling it. I don't know. It's a complete guess. But it would be, as a fan, again, looking on the outside, not knowing what's going on internally, the kinds of obstacles they have, it would be nice to get these.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is it for the week in terms of news. Now, yes. I know that we've been asking people, you talk about this part. I need to wake up.
So last week and the week prior, actually, we asked people if they had any questions for us about us or the website or the Pokebeach, Basil.com.
Ask us your questions. Ask us your questions.
Yes, that was basically the gist of it. Ask your questions. I'm not afraid.
I believe you have compiled these questions. I haven't really seen them.
I went through and I picked up a bunch of the questions. So I guess I'll ask and then I'll let you answer and then I'll answer.
Can I actually?
How's that sound?
Can I just real quick start with Pokejungle's tongue-in-cheek question?
Sure. Yeah.
So
I'm gonna go with it.
Oh, so you did leave it out. Oh, great. So that's good that I'm bringing it up. So Pokejungle replied to my tweet. He's a very old friend, pokejungle.net. And he was just being sarcastic, asking, because I had posted a tweet saying, ask us your questions for the podcast. And he asked, what are your opinions on the U.S. housing market? He is making a complete joke, but it's actually super relevant. And he has no idea how relevant that question actually is. So I want to touch on it briefly. So I think that right now, if you look at politics, all that sort of stuff aside, if you look at facts, our generation is not able to afford homes anymore. It's just a fact. You can argue about it all you want if people aren't managing their money well or whatever. But the fact is that income is very low and the prices of houses are super high. So I think anecdotally, the effect of that on our franchise has actually been that there are so many people turning to collectibles and Pokemon, especially during the pandemic, because they look at it as a way of making money. So I think that because it doesn't feel like our generation really has a future, an economic future, that people are doing anything they can to make money, and that includes turning to the Pokemon TCG, holding on to products, and then flipping them for more money. And I think that's partly why we've had such an influx of scalpers and people who are so money-oriented coming into our community since the pandemic, and even a little bit before, because of how this economy and world is.
Here's the gist of it. People like shiny cardboard and they'll do stuff to get shiny cardboard. That's what it is. That's how I feel about it, at least. All right, let's go into the questions from. All right, so on to the Q&A questions. Let's start with YouTube. So the very first question I've got pulled up here is from FSAL Gogh 39. Says, what's a mechanic you would like to see, or a mechanic from other TCGs that you tried and thought would be cool in the Pokemon trading card game?
What mechanics do you like from you seem to know about other card games?
I do know about some other card games. Actually, the one I was going to bring up is going to be no surprise after our conversation earlier. I think we should steal a mechanic from Digimon. Mm-hmm. There's a very cool mechanic in there called inherited effects. Basically, the idea is that when you digivolve your Digimon from one stage to the next, a lot of times the previous stage will have an inherited effect. So by digivolving, you gain that effect from the previous evolution, right? So for example, imagine.
So is it like level X
if
cards?
you will? Not quite. No, it's not really. I'll translate it to Pokemon for us. How's that? All right. So let's say there's a Charmander. Charmander has no inherited effect. It's a bad Charmander. It's too old. It didn't have it yet. We'll just simplify it that way. Newer one probably would have it, but old one didn't. But a new Charmeleon that you're gonna run, right? It's got an inherited effect that says when you evolve this Charmeleon into a Charizard, and that the Charmeleon's in that evolution line, now that Charizard gets an extra 100 HP. That's all it does.
I don't get it.
So basically, because you went through the effort of actually evolving each step, you get an extra effect at the highest levels.
Shouldn't that just be built into in Pokemon terms?
No. I don't think so. Because there's a benefit to this, right? You have the choice. You can either get Charizard out faster with Rare Candy, or you can get it out slower and get the extra HP.
I see. You're saying that if you go through the full evolution, then you'll get an... Oh, I see. Okay, that makes more sense.
Right.
Okay.
You get a benefit. Now maybe 100 HP is too much. It's just an example, but that's the general idea, right? And it could be a whole bunch of different things. It could be
cool. I like that.
HP buffs, damage buffs. Maybe the attacks of this Charizard do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon, or maybe maybe something crazy, right? Like if you evolve from a specific Charmander, the attack when your Charizard knocks out your opponent's active Pokemon, it takes an extra prize card. Or maybe it's something really simple and basic. Maybe the Charmeleon the Charmander says that the Charmeleon has one less retreat cost. It could be all sorts of different things. And simple, really.
I like that idea because I was saying on one of the episodes, it doesn't feel like this game rewards evolution. And that's the whole point.
It doesn't.
That's the whole point of Pokemon is that they evolve. I really like that idea. Another one I would say is that like I only watched the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, when it was on, once in a while. But like they have the trap cards where you can put down a card and interrupt an effect. That would be kind of cool. Like be dramatic and slap them down. Like no, like exploding kittens. You have the what are those cards? I forget you have like a stop card or something, and you can play it down and stop somebody from doing something to you. That would be kind of cool, but I guess that might be a completely different card game if we ddid it that way.
Yeah, I think effects like Power Spray probably won't come back to the trading card game. One, they would completely break TCG Live. That port. But I just think I don't think that's a design direction Pokemon's interested in exploring, and maybe that's for the best. It could be interesting, but I think it's probably. I think Pokemon players are too comfortable not having to worry about their opponent doing stuff on their turn.
Let's do one or two more questions, and then we can answer the others during the, other podcasts.
Okay. So I say I have answers for all these. I got a chance to go through them. Let's do another one from Twitter. So C Love It, and this is actually also this is from YouTube. C Love It, and then also from Twitter, Brave Asperia 4S. What was your favorite era in the trading card game, both for card design, art, and the format at the time?
Oh, this is a. I'm sure this is always going to be a deeply subjective, personal question, because I think like the great thing about Pokemon is that you're always tied to happy memories from a time. Like for example, if you played for me, I played Ruby and Sapphire when I was vacationing with my family in Palm Springs, which was always good times for me. So I always love the Ruby and Sapphire games because it ties me to those happy times. So for me, like my favorite era would be when I was playing from Team Rocket to Neo Series, because the Super Trainer Showdown was one of my first big tournaments, and I played a Feraligatr Riptide deck, and my dad drove me there, and we stayed to San Diego where the tournament was, and we drove there, stayed in a hotel. So I always have very fond memories of those times. And of course, playing against the damn Slowking decks, which were Slowking was mistranslated and horribly. And like if you had if the if the opponent you were facing had 4 of them down, you would have to flip 4 coins to get to play any of your trainer cards, which is absolutely ridiculous. So it was always about trying to set up your decks as quickly as you could to defeat them.
Yeah, I don't know that would be very many people's favorite format, to be honest. But
yeah, there's a lot of
there's some serious cancer in that era.
Banning Sneasel, there's a lot of, but for me again, it's like it's all subjective. It's all just my happy memories are there. And then like in terms of like card art, like obviously I love the original generation because I'm a nostalgia, freak. But I really like what they're doing now, actually, with the special illustration rares. Like, I honestly think that they're doing really well. But okay, now your turn. You answer.
In terms of the card template, like the way the cards themselves are designed, I think my favorite era is probably Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I love the crushed borders and the softer palette that they use. I really like that era in terms of art too.
The gold and silver borders on the cards.
Yeah. The gameplay, though, I think is, and anybody who's ever talked to me more than a minute knows my answer already. Sun and Moon through Lost Thunder. I think it's a great format. It's a very fun format. It's a fairly recent format, so it's pretty easy to get into if you want to just pick it up as a retro format. It's a very fun format. That's the format I was somewhat competitive in before. I think I started falling off competitively around Unbroken Bonds, Cosmic Eclipse era. So when I started kind of focusing more on being a Pokemon professor, being more somebody who was teaching more than playing competitively. I never was super competitive. My anxiety would never allow me to do that, but yeah, anyway, that's not really the point. So Heart Gold, and then art, honestly, yeah, Scarlet and Violet. The art has never been better. Special illustration rares, even as far back as like Brilliant Stars with the trainer gallery stuff.
Yeah.
They've been on a tear with the art. And it's great to see they're finally doing something. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. And I love that it's also that the special illustration rares and illustration rares focus on like middle stage evolutions or unpopular Pokemon, and it shows them like interacting with their environment or, so I mean, it's amazing. And then I obviously love the original era just because the nostalgia when you look at them. But yeah, so what's our next question?
Let's hit up Venom Knight's question. This is Venom Knight from Twitter. Venom Knight asks, if you could create a card of your favorite Pokemon, what would the art be and what would it do in the game? Nothing too broken, but something you would have fun with.
Ooh, I would have to really think about this one. Okay, so I love Wartortle. So maybe like Wartortle standing on a rock on a beach, commanding a bunch of Squirtle behind it, and they're about to go into battle against an unseen enemy. But Wartortle with the, it's got the war mark, but they never really.
Yeah.
I don't know what the effect would be though. The card effect.
You focus on the art. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So I thought a lot about this question. I had tons of time to think about this while we were getting started up. So I thought way too much about it. But I'm gonna go off. Ready? Okay, so I would create a water type Blossom EX reminiscent of the Delta species card from Holland Phantoms.
Okay.
Okay. But the art is going to be by Shinji Kanda. So that's the person who did like the alternate art Giratina V from Lost Origin. They also did like the Blitzel, and the Absol from Paradox Rift. They've done a lot of cards in that vein, right? Really cool artist. So the art would be done by Shinji Kanda. Okay, now I thought about the attacks and abilities too because I have to, right? That's part of the question. We're going to scrap what the Delta species says. We're not even going to draw inspiration from that. But what we're going to do is we're going to give an ability that's bordering on broken, but not broken. It's basically going to be Forest of Giant Plants, but only for the Oddish evolution line. So Oddish, Gloom, and Vileplume can evolve immediately when they're brought into play. Mm-hmm. That's what they can do, right? So Oddish can immediately go into Gloom, can go into Blossom or Vileplume, done, right? That's what it would get. And then it would get a hit and run attack. So as long as Blossom's in the active spot, it's got the Forest of Giant Plants effect for Oddish's evolution line, and then it can hit and run, do maybe like 120 damage and flips out. But
you mean dances out?
Definitely dances out. Okay. But in that same set, we would get a Vileplume EX, a dark type Vileplume EX. Not even Terra, because Vileplume still hasn't appeared as a dark type. None of the evolution line has, for whatever reason.
Because of poison.
Okay. Yeah, for its poison side, right? Now, what we would do with that is we would give that an ability that when it's in the active spot, your opponent can't use any item cards.
Oh, no.
So now they would have synergy with one another.
And it's a callback to
a bunch of different Vileplume.
Yeah, different
a bunch
ones.
of them.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Okay, so I think that's it for news and questions for this week. We'll answer more questions at the end of the future podcast.
I'll save off the
For
ones
the
we
sake
didn't answer today for next week.
Great, for the sake of time. And
Yes.
I think at some point in the next week, I'm going to do a 151 pack opening. I'm going to open 151 packs. I'm going to open 151 packs of 151. I have them all right here. And we'll see how that goes. I've never done a pack opening. But
I opened a single Elite Trainer box for that set, and then I bought singles.
and I have that too. So we'll do open 151 packs, 151. But yeah, so I guess that's it for the week. Next week, I think we might get the English reveal of the shiny January set. So look forward to that, and we'll have the video up. I'm sure right after it's revealed, because I think it'll be on Friday. It could be Thursday, but probably Friday. But
We'll see. It might be Thursday.
yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for joining us. Be sure to like, subscribe, and please comment. We want to hear your comments.
Yes, we do. Also, everybody going to Toronto, best of luck to all of you.
Yes. And yeah, thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week.